Also, I'm on the train and I'm going on my first real ice cycling street this winter. We rode a week ago, but at that time the ice wasn't thick enough, and in 2 hours my friend finally fell into the water. I say finally because it was obvious that it was going to happen because the ice wasn't solid, but he really wanted to ride over it. So his pants and boots got really wet, and he ended up being very angry. Alexander came on the same train but from another station. If you have a group, you need to spread out in different cars because of lack of space for bikes. You can see two orange things on his shoulders. This is kind of knife that he used for grabbing the ice and pulling himself out of the water. During his last swim he had only one. I want to introduce you to the Russian word dacha, which refers to second house outside the city. If you look at Google map, you will see 1,000 or even millions of roofs. It's a dream for many people to escape apartment life and have a private house for their own. For some times we ride through a small town over asphalt roads covered with snow, ice and sand. But the main adventure happens on the forest road, where you have to prove your skills and strengths, and ride in only one of vehicle tracks. It's not just some 10-minute walkout. You have to struggle with snow for hours. If the trail is too rough and you cannot ride, you can walk, but it's not easier. You just use another group of muscles. Anyway, it is a good cardio, especially after you have a cold. It's a good way to get some fresh, clean air into your lung. And of course it might also give you a cold. It's winter. That day there was a lot of slush and here and there some puddles. This is where we are going to begin the ice cycling part of our trip. But we need to figure out how to get over the first 10 meters of the water, which isn't completely frozen, so we could easily get wet, which we want to avoid obviously.
На воду мы не выйдем. Это точно.
А вон ты говоришь, никого нет.
Хотя да, вон идут.
Но мы не будем туда спешить, если поедешь по берегу, поедем по берегу.
Ну, перейти можно вот здесь попробовать.
Ну что, хочешь по льду?
Попробуй сейчас, снимай. Моя очередь там.
Мне кажется, надо чуть назад отойти. Дальше пройти.
After our first attempt to cross the ice, along with Alexander's route phrase about the excessively warm weather and melting ice, we found a good path only 500 meters away.
Да?
But as we started to ride, I saw there were a lot of water parts in either side of us. But we risked it and kept going anyway. It wasn't idle, but it got us to where we need to go. The coolest part is 10 minutes later once it gets dark. Yep, the sun goes down very fast no matter what time of year or region. So it's sunset 4:10 p.m. and we are in the dark. We cannot go far from the shore because there is a river that is melting the ice in the bay in few kilometers. Why we have to stick to dry land? One week later we decided to do the same but in opposite direction. The lake in front of me is part of Finland Bay, which is a part of Baltic Sea. And there is a perfect ice for 5 kilometers. In the distance you can see a town with a big pyramid house that the indigenous people call the ant hill and usually practice the ice skating in front of it. But right now there is only one kite in the sky.
Звук нехороший.
Everyone knows ice fishers are very strange people, like Christian Grey in the 50 Shades of Grey novel. I want to tell you a joke about them. A man comes home from work. His wife is standing in erotic lingerie and gives him a rope and says, "Tie me up and do whatever you want." So the man ties her up, gag her mouth, grab a fish rod, and leave the house to go fishing.
Это я не уверен.
Здесь как-то стрёмно ехать.
Да, поехали ближе к берегу. Слишком много, тут на любой льдине вниз уйдешь.
Here we have some problems with broken ice and possibly open water, so we decided to go along the shore. "20 kilometers later, I record a few seconds of the ice. No way we can go any further. There is too much broken ice and water. So that's going to be all for today, so we are just going to head back to the railway station.